and welcome to another Spark Online Social Justice online session. Today I'm joined by Matty and Chuks to talk about their experiences at COP26, which is an incredibly exciting opportunity that they got to do, and I'm very jealous that they went. So thank you both for joining me today. It's really nice to have you both here. Can you guys give like a quick introduction to who you are and sort of what you do? We'll start with Matty.
Hi, I'm Matty. I'm a philosophy student in Glasgow, and I volunteer with CAFOD, and I'm currently working for the Justice and Peace Society in Leeds.
Hi, I'm Chuks, and I'm currently a master's student at the University of Bradford studying the Masters in Artificial Intelligence and Data Analytics. I volunteer with CAFOD, and with them I got the opportunity to be in Glasgow, and I'll do that every time.
Excellent, thank you. So just as like a kind of first question, so obviously you've both been to COP26 last year in Glasgow. How did that opportunity come about for you both, and why did you decide to go? We'll start with Matty again.
I heard about the opportunity through some other young people that I'd met at the Justice and Peace annual conference in summer. Someone just put it in the group chat, which was very lucky that someone told me about it, and I decided to go because I thought it was a good opportunity. I live in Glasgow, obviously, so I wanted to go, and I thought it was a way that I could be guaranteed that I'd get to go to more events than just what was on offer for everybody to go to.
I got the opportunity to go to Glasgow through CAFOD, also just as Matty, because we both volunteer for CAFOD in our local diocese, the Diocese of Leeds. And also, like you said, we met at the Justice and Peace Commission last year, and we've been there. So I think the opportunity came when the diocese lead, Brona, spoke to me and said, "Hi, Chuks, will you be willing to attend the COP26 and all that?" And I said, yes, I want to. And although I saw the publication, I got the link and I applied, and I put in my best application because I wanted to be there, because it is more than ever young people are yearning for change. More than ever young people are clamoring for a climate change, to keep the world aware, to know that the leaders has failed us, to know that the planet Earth is not interested in our hands and is no longer anybody's planet other than ours, and we need to make sure we keep it going. And going to Glasgow, joining my voice with a whole lot of young people there, and amidst the 100,000 people who protested and who went on the climate march, was something really interesting.
Excellent, and that brings me quite nicely onto my next question, which was, what kind of things did you get up to when you were there? Because I think a lot of people watching have seen like some of the videos and things from the news of what sort of things have been going up to, but what kind of things did you get up to? What kind of things were like the highlights for you whilst you were
there? We got up to quite a lot, actually. On the first day we went to the green zone, which was, there was like lots of stalls and stuff by different companies and stuff, but for me the highlight was definitely the Saturday when, as Chuks mentioned, we went on the big climate protest, which started in Kelvin Grove Park in the west end of Glasgow. We marched through the streets to Glasgow Green, and as Chuck said, there was 100,000 people went on that protest, and it was one of over 250 protests that happened across the world that day. And for me, that was definitely the highlight, just knowing that you're part of a movement where so many people feel so strongly about what we should be doing, about what our governments are failing to do for us. And it was the range of people who were there was, I thought, quite special. Like I think there's our governments and people in charge often are failing to show the climate the respect that it needs and the urgency that the crisis requires. And I thought it was really special to see that that's not how everyone else feels. So many people feel so strongly about this, and it was really special to be a part of it.
For me, I think what stood out for me and the things I got to do when I go to Glasgow, I enjoyed the train ride going around across the west coast and all that, and coming in, and we assembled at the hostel where we stayed, and and coming together at night at the Jesuit place where we had our dinner daily and all that. So, and also the climate march where we saw other young people, where we saw other faith groups, where we saw the indigenous people, so like people all across the world coming together for this was absolutely fantastic, and seeing this happen. And I think the conversations met people also in the hostel. We had conversations like, where do we go from here after COP26? What can we also do in our private um, homes? What can we do in our community? What can we do in where we find ourselves other than CAFOD also? We're having these conversations at night, and people were really interesting and interesting to do that. And it was so much fun. And I think it was a 3 days which we wanted to stretch. We wanted it to go beyond 3 days, to be honest. But I mean, it was a 3 days. It was worth it, really.
Excellent, thank you. So I guess my the next thing I want to ask you is sort of, what were the main things that you learned by going to COP26? Because obviously there's so much going on, so much information. So obviously you've done quite a lot of things while you were there. What are some of the main things that you've learned, and what do you think are some of the main things that are going to come into the new year now? And what are some things that you think we need to sort of focus on or take forward as young people?
Well, after everybody else left from the CAFOD group, I was invited by a friend to an event that was run by XR Youth Solidarity and the Global Alliance of Territorial Communities. And it was a really special event. It was, they had some people from an indigenous community in Colombia over, some young people, and XR Youth Solidarity is a group where they encourage young people in the West to think about how they can support young people in communities, in indigenous communities, on an equal footing. So it's about building bridges, it's about building communities. It's not about here's money, here's help in that sort of way. It's about building a community together and working together to find issues that are occurring in both of your communities, and then thinking about how they're different, and then solutions that you can help each other to work towards. And that was a really special event. It was half in Spanish, half in English. So some people could only speak Spanish, and some people, including myself, could only speak English. And then there was, my friend was translating for everybody. And I think what that was probably the thing that I learned the most from. And what I took from that is that those voices are so often not part of the conversation, even though, especially in terms of the climate crisis, they are the most at risk, they're the most vulnerable, they're going to bear the brunt of this. And I think that as we go forward, we have to make sure that we're giving people who are going to be most affected the platform for their voice to be part of the conversation. We can't drown these voices out anymore.
I think also what I learned at the conference was an act of negotiation, because partly what happened at the conference was civic organizations negotiating, lobbying and all that. So I think when we were briefed by the policy head, whilst we were at the Jesuit place, they briefed us on how the negotiations were going in at the blue zone, with the government officials and everything, and also knowing what demands are the governments really paying attention to and what are they not paying attention to. You need to know those details. You need to know what's happening indoors as much as what's happening outdoors too. So in as much as you're out protesting and clamoring for change, you need to know what's happening on the table. You need to find a way to have a seat at the table, because that's what matters. Because if what needs to be done is not being placed at the table, the government will not want to yield to the conversation of the people, to civic organizations, to people who are really passionate about this.
That covers everything that I wanted to ask today, and I'm really thankful that you've both come and shared your experiences at COP. It sounds like you had such a great time, and that you've learned so much from being there, but also that like it's experience that you can definitely take forward and now kind of do amazing, great things with in the future. So it sounds like such a great experience. And if I ever got the opportunity to do something similar, I would definitely be going at it to go for it. So yeah, thank you so much. And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned things, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.